Welcome, everyone, and happy Halloween on this Thursday, October 31st. It is noon Eastern time, right outside of the booming metropolis of Philadelphia, known as Ambler, PA, and it is time for a very spooky edition of Talent Experience Live. I'm your host, Devin Foster, and this program is proudly brought to you by the good folks here at Phenom, whose purpose is to help 1 billion find the right work. That is why we have hard to get interviews like the one today. It's why we host a plethora of webinars, why we have I Am Phenom coming up next spring, why we've been at every single event under the sun this past fall. It is all working towards our purpose of helping 1 billion. And the way that we do that is through our intelligent talent experience platform, which helps candidates find the right fit faster, employees evolve in their current roles and beyond, recruiters achieve some next level productivity and efficiency, and managers get to build better teams through data analytics, and automation. And of course, all of this is powered by super slick artificial intelligence. So if you are interested in any of that at all, run, don't walk to phenom.com immediately following this episode. But of course, after the episode, because today's episode, it's a good one. It is with the person that I never thought we could get, a guest that vanishes in the middle of the night. You've probably run into this individual multiple times, whether it be filling out half of an application or no-showing an interview or even no-showing a start date. Without any further hesitation, let's welcome onto the program the candidate ghost. Thank you for taking the time today. I know, obviously, very busy schedule with lots of applications you're filling out and not necessarily completing. You disappear more than in-flight Wi-Fi. Thank you so much for joining today.
No problem, bud. Obviously, I got a lot of time on my hands because I'm not showing up to interviews. So I'm not starting work. So happy to join you on this particular program.
Quick question: as we continue this episode, do you plan on leaving midway through? Because we can't have that happen. We need you to stick through to the end of the episode.
It's not like I mean to disappear. Obviously, we all need some job. Obviously, this is my busy season, typically when I get my most work. But for some reason, when recruiters mention job expectations, it sends a chill up my spine. I can't see myself, doing some of those things that they ask, like showing up to meetings on time and 5 to 10 years of experience. It's very, very terrifying for a ghost, if we're being honest. And recruiters scare me overall.
So first question, I think the most important one here is, why do you keep vanishing? Why do you keep leaving recruiters high and dry? People have called you Bigfoot with a resume. Is there something about recruiters or hiring managers that leaves you saying, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. Help us understand a little bit here.
Recruiters are scary overall. They're intimidating with their phone calls, with their emails. But what's even scarier about their emails is there's simply no personalization. There's no punctuation. You'd think that with all of this generative AI, they would leverage some of it when following up. I get emails that just say, hey, first name, thanks for applying. First name? My mom doesn't even call me first name. So yeah, there's a lot of room to be improved there. I think they're probably nice people, but they've scared me away from a lot of their companies.
I get it. Job expectations can always be a little bit intimidating, especially when we apply for jobs that maybe we're a little bit underqualified for. But overall, a recruiter has to fill that role. So are they that scary? Do they intimidate you that much that you say, abandon ship? Everyone knows a good captain goes down with their ship. So why are you continuing to ghost recruiters?
Okay. I mean, look, I'm a ghost. We all get it. I'm going to be here for a long time, haunting, as one would. But when they ask me, like, where do I see myself in 5 years? I don't know. It could be, in Los Angeles, California, working on a big movie set. I don't want to say that for a job that requires me to clean toilets. I don't want to say that for a job that requires me to do social media. I have big aspirations. It's terrifying to admit that. I think we always want to be honest within interviews, but are they honestly thinking that I'm going to apply for that job and want to stay there forever? I want career growth. I want talent management. I want to grow within an organization where I can see myself. How am I supposed to know where I'm going to be in 5 years?
So that makes sense. I understand why you're not following through. But I have to ask you, why even apply to the job in the first place if you aren't interested, if you aren't going to respond to phone calls or text messages or emails? Why even fill out that campaign? Why even start the application?
We all know that ghosts have some commitment issues, and that's why we've been leaving things. Ghosts, if you don't keep your eyes on us, we'll slip through a wall even in the haunted mansion. So I think solid follow-up that isn't too needy, right? I don't want to hear from, I don't want to hear from everyone all the time. I think waiting a couple days is sometimes a good thing. Recruiting is a lot like the dating scene right now. Are you going to follow up with somebody if they text you immediately after a date and say, what are you doing tomorrow? Probably not. That's going to give you the ick. And a lot of these recruiters give me the ick. So, yeah, you could say it's commitment issues, but I don't think it is so much. You don't want to come off as desperate, and I think that's a two-way street.
All right, that makes sense. Well, any advice that you would give recruiters then, I guess, as they're following up to maybe stand out in the crowd to help you cross the finish line, to get you that job that you've been applying for? Because obviously you're interested in something. You're not just addicted to applying to jobs. What can recruiters do differently in order to help you become a new hire?
Well, I think my advice for recruiters would probably be to use a Ouija board to reach us, because our cell phones are constantly out of service. No, obviously, I'm kidding there. My biggest thing for recruiters would be to leverage a platform like Phenom, right, where they can use generative AI, where they can create personalized messages, where they can schedule. Like, have you ever seen a ghost schedule? We're booked up a lot of the time, haunting people like Sam Darnold. I mentioned that before. He's actually been doing really well. So shout out to Mr. Darnold there. But yeah, I think just leveraging that, allowing us to automate things and communicate when works best for us. No recruiter is going to talk to me at 4 o'clock in the morning when I just pulled an all-nighter scaring your grandmother. So all of those things I think would really help out recruiters when it comes to that. And even if they don't have Phenom, even if they can't, one of the things that would also help them the best would probably be just be human. I know that sounds ridiculous coming from a ghost, but I think just approaching it with ease, asking someone how their day is going before you ask them, to an interview to find out more about. They call it human resources for a reason. Be personable. And let that reflect in your emails and your outreach and your text messages. Sometimes it gets a little bit too stuffy in here for a ghost.
All right. So we've learned, what recruiters can do to help out. We've learned why you apply in the first place. I guess last little bit of, last question that I have for you is, do you think you'll continue to ghost in the future? Do you think 2025, 2026, we'll still be having this conversation? Because I think we started back in 2020 when you first showed up on the recruiting scene. And now you're here. What do you think it will take for ghosting to cease to exist?
I think the main thing that would make me, not ghost things, probably my own parking spot. I'm kidding. Ghosts don't drive cars. Free snacks would be nice, though, at a place. Obviously, all of these are being a bit more facetious. I think, making application processes easy so that we don't abandon them would help us from ghosting. Following up at a healthy clip, at a healthy pace, and also just being real with us.
Well, I mean, snacks are great. That's certainly true. And also, obviously, we love Phenom here. Not all companies are going to use it. I think you did offer some good advice for some recruiters who may not be leveraging Phenom at this point in time, but hopefully they will in the future. I want to thank you so much for your time. I know you have a busy night ahead of you. You have to go scare some ghosts. That's one job you'll never give up. That and terrorizing Jets fans. But in the meantime, I wish you a happy Halloween, Ghost. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks so much for your time. And boo. Ooh.
Well, there you have it. That was our sit-down interview with the candidate ghost. I think there are some lessons to be learned there, specifically about what recruiters can do to avoid these issues. It's pretty clear that ghosting will never fully go away. However, if you leverage the right tools, if you approach in a kind manner, and if you aren't too overbearing, I think the more success that you'll have. So certainly check out what Phenom has to offer, as the ghost suggested, but also just be human, be real, and show that in your outreach. Thanks so much. I hope everyone has a happy Halloween, and we'll see you next week.